Jeffrey's been watching Hamza videos and he's finally gotten on self-improvement. But there's just one problem. He doesn't have a life. He's become a gym cell. Jeffrey, you do realize self-improvement means improving all aspects of your life, right? Including your social life and your dating life and your overall enjoyment. Adonis sits young Jeffrey down and he teaches him how to have a life outside of the gym and work. Step 1, have basic plans, but with fun people. Step 2, keep meeting girls. And step 3, take trips. Jeffrey starts living his dream life. Thank you, Adonis. I feel like I may have done you a disservice because for the last 5 years, I just grinded on my routine. And naturally, whatever I'm doing in my own life is what I recommend you to do as well. So I would wake up, do the self-improvement habits, go to the gym, work on my business, read books, and then go to bed. Over and over and over again. And I used to say, actually, that I was very happy and I really liked doing this. And that wasn't necessarily a lie. I just didn't really know what was on the other side. And now I know. The last week, I have been the most social of my life. And today I was just in the gym with 2 friends of mine. And I said to them, the last week has probably been the best week of my life. One of the friends, he went like that, and he gave me a fist bump. The other friend has just moved his stuff into my place. I told him, yeah, come sleep here for at least a couple of nights or something. And tomorrow we're all gonna meet early in the morning with my friend Cadby, my cameraman, 8 a.m. and we're all content creators as well. We're all gonna record here at my villa. I'm gonna record here in my usual spot. My friend Kaz, he's another YouTuber. He's gonna record outside next to the pool. My friend Sam, he's gonna record upstairs in his room. And we're gonna record for about 1 hour, 2 hours. Then we're gonna all take a break at the same time. We're gonna sit around. We're gonna drink coffee, smoke shisha. We're gonna literally just listen to music or get some food, whatever, drink coffee. Then go back to work, record some videos, then do it again, on, off, on, off, on, off. All day with a group of our friends, which we all knew today. We were literally hyping up saying it's gonna be fun as fuck. We're so excited for it. And it's literally a big day of work. That's what we're saying we're gonna do tomorrow. It's oh yeah, we'll probably record 6 videos tomorrow each. And we're oh bro, I can't wait for tomorrow. It's gonna be so much fun. You know, before in my life, I had friends, but who were kind of bad influences, who I would do bad things with. Not necessarily completely their fault, but of course, it's just what would happen in my life. And this is probably what you can relate to. So these are kind of your Jeffrey friends who, they're not bad people, they're actually kind of nice people. But you only do bad habits with them. You only play video games with them, or for some of the guys who watch this, you only go out and take drugs and stay up late and drink alcohol and stuff with them. That's the Jeffrey friends. Then we have the crabs, who are kind of like friends, but they're the ones who are actually bad people, and they actively kind of bully you and pull you back down to their level. They're the bad friends. And that's the only kind of 2 friends that we've all really had, isn't it? We've had the nice guys, but who kind of are degenerate little loser Jeffreys, and we don't want to be friends with them. We've had the bad people, the crabs, who are just mean and we don't want to be like them either. Imagine you have one which are nice people, but that you actually do the good habits with. That, I feel, was the final piece of the puzzle in my life. So for the last 5 years, I told you, I've been on this routine, self-improvement business. I've worked so hard. I became a millionaire in 3 years of trying, which is fucking crazy when you think about it. Millions of followers, millions of dollars, jacked physique. And I thought my social life was actually pretty okay because I used to just talk to people in the gym. That was my advice that I would always give you for social life, which was okay, go to the gym, speak to as many people as possible, speak to the receptionist, speak to the big jacked guy there, cold approach the girl, get to the point where when you're walking into the gym, there's a few people you fist bump and you're hyping up every day. I thought if I had that was my social life scratched, but I see now that was just the tip of the iceberg. What you want is not just some of this superficial kind of moments of oh yes bro, what are you training today? Oh look, that girl's got big glutes, whatever. You know, that stuff's still nice, don't get me wrong. I quite really like the small conversations in the gym. But what you need is close friends who you're building an actual attachment to. Your nervous system, think about it, inside of us we have nerves, right? kind of like veins that go through us. And our nerves literally start to like connect to one another, and they start to like sync together when you have like a friendship that you've like joined together, especially if you touch each other, not in a gay way, but you know, like handshakes and hugs and whatever. That's how like a human should live. Humans, like we should have connections, like deep connections with like 150 people. On average, I heard this statistic, the average young person, or the average, I think it was middle-aged, has now 0 friends. Maybe, that doesn't sound accurate, so I'm not sure if it was average. The word probably is like the medium or some shit. Basically, like the most common amount of friends to have in the modern day is 0. The most common amount of friends to have in the modern day is 0. Most people do not have a close friend that they can rely on. So the first bit of advice I'll give you in this video to have a life outside of the gym and outside of work is to have basic plans. You know, like plan something, right? To do something basic, nothing special, but with fun people. If you know someone who's a fun person and also a good person as well, doing basic things with them is awesome. So imagine this. I thought of this with my friend Sam like a week ago. I thought, you know what? You could go and do something really funny. Like you could do something like a conventionally fun thing. But if you do it with someone who's not like a funny person, it's suddenly not funny. Let's say, for example, like going to like, I don't know, the theme park, just to put it into perspective, right? Or playing video games, whatever. Something that's usually fun. And I know you'll say, video games aren't fun for me. Just fucking follow the example, right? So let's say like playing video games, right? If you're playing games, which is a fun activity, but with someone who's not a fun person, suddenly the activity is not fun anymore. How about if you do nothing? Like we're talking, you're locked in a room like you're in jail, but with a funny person. It's actually a funny, it's actually funny. It's actually like a funny experience. Like you probably know someone that if you were locked in a room together, there's no stimulation, you're both just sat on the floor, you would literally laugh and like cry tears of joy just because you two bounce together and you're both funny and you're both like happy, nice guys. So my first bit of advice for you to have a life outside of the gym and to the work, like step 0, for example, should be start to meet some more people. And the way you do that is following my usual social skills advice, where you go to like the gym, for example, you go outside and just speak to as many people as possible. And then the extra tip is to make sure you try and level up those friendships by messaging the people you meet and saying, okay, let's do this together, let's do this. And you open up to them, you ask them questions, you get to know their interests. You make sure you kind of like keep yourself available to level up the connection with them more. You tell them like, you know, things about you, you ask them personal details about themselves, you tell them stories about you and everything, and you level up this connection. Then make some basic plans with them, because you probably know 1 or 2 guys that are actually pretty nice guys who maybe aren't as serious as you on self-improvement, but they're definitely not like complete Jeffreys, and they're certainly not crabs. So invite them to do something not fun, invite them to do something basic. Like how about going to the mall, right? If you go to the mall with a few funny friends, you'll have a sick time. If you go to the mall with friends who aren't funny, you'll have a bad time. Just see how the plan doesn't actually matter. Like the thing you do, the activity doesn't actually matter. All that matters is like, are the people funny and do you feel like sort of comfortable enough with them? So if you met anyone like that, start organizing some basic plans with them. And what I've noticed is you have to just be the one who thinks of the plan, schedules it in your calendar, and then invites people to it. So for example, last week, I decided, my friend Sam was here and I just made friends with this new guy, Kaz. And I decided, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna plan a trip to the mall. Like we'll drive our motorbikes and go to the mall for Thursday, 1 p.m. I messaged Sam first, or I think I spoke to him in person, and I said, do you want to go to the mall? He's like, oh yeah, sweet, let's go. Then I messaged like 4 or 5 guys individually. And all of us, literally, we had like a group of like 6 of us drive bikes to the mall, cold approach girls, and sit outside smoking. Like, I don't smoke, but like, you know, smoking, drinking and stuff, drinking coffee and stuff. And we got food out upstairs, and it was a beautiful scenic view right next to the beach and everything. And it was funny as fuck. It was like one of the most fun days I've had, where you're crying tears of laughter, you know, watching one friend go up to a girl and the other friend's talking to this girl, and then we go upstairs, we're getting the food and everything. It was so funny. It was a basic plan, like going to the mall is nothing like crazy adventurous. But with good people, it suddenly becomes so enjoyable. So that's like the first step I'd give you, or step zero is go and try and meet those people. And that's like, honestly, it's harder said than done. So maybe I should, easier said than done. I should probably make like another video on like how to meet the fun people. And if you want me to, you can like comment or something if I see that. But yeah, once you know some fun people, bro, just make sure you fucking like message them and consistently invite them to things. So what you can do is invite them to something spontaneous one time, like the trip to the mall, something you're not going to do all the time. But then see if you can have a weekly thing in your calendar. So now in my calendar, Saturday 5 to like 9 p.m, I've put movie night there. Every single Saturday, I'm gonna have a movie night with my boys. Tell them to come over. We'll get food. We'll watch movies. We'll sit around. You know, we'll get like it'll be a bit of a cheat meal. We'll get like some pizza and popcorn and stuff, right? Last Saturday, we watched The Wolf of Wall Street. Like 6 of us. Like how fucking hype is that? Like fucking 6 of us are sat around eating pizza and donuts. My friend brought shisha. We're watching this fucking movie, you know, it's just like funny and it's got sex scenes and we're all laughing and everything. It was so fucking funny. Usually, bro, I would not watch a movie by myself, right? It's just fucking boring by myself. But with a group of guys, it's fun. And so what was nice about this is I've now put it in my calendar every single week. So I can actually consistently remember, oh yeah, on Saturday, okay, make sure you invite some people. Okay, I'll message this guy. We've got another 2-3 guys coming this week. Okay, sweet. It's like a consistent thing. And then I said, yeah, fuck it. I live by myself, right? Not sure if you can do this, but I said to the friends, I was like, oh, why don't you sleep over? I was like, because Saturday night you're going to come, you're going to stay kind of late, 9, 10 p.m. Why don't you sleep over? Because then on Sunday morning, it'll be nice that we'll all wake up kind of here, we'll make some coffee in the morning and there's like a new kind of vibe. Another thing with this, I think I should really make a video on how to meet those, like the high quality people, because you've got to kind of have the kind of people you can actually open up to and say this to them without feeling kind of cringe. Like to my friend Cadby and to the new friend Kaz, when I said this to them and I said to them, like listen, it's kind of weird, but I know that if we meet at like, oh, hey bro, meet me at 5 p.m. at dinner, it's nice, but it's kind of like, yeah, it's whatever. But if you sleep around my place and we wake up the next day at like 6 a.m. and we drink some coffee and we talk, I know that kind of morning conversation is going to be extra special. And my friend Kaz, I said this to him and he was like, I know what you mean. He's like, I completely know what you mean. You need the type of friends that you can literally openly say to them, like, oh yeah, I want to level up my social life. I want to get to know you more. Like, tell me more stories about you. But also, to be honest, you also need to be the kind of person who has the balls to say this, right? Because if I'm honest to you, a few years ago, I would not have had the balls. I would have thought it was kind of gay if I would say to friends, like, oh, hey, bro, like, I'm trying to, level up my friendship with you. Do you want to come sleep with me? I would have been too insecure to kind of say something like that. I think now that I'm like 28 years old and I've also achieved like so much in life, that now I'm like kind of past the insecurity and the sort of fragile sense of worth or whatever, that I can just say what I want to people. If I want to spend more time with my friends, I can literally say to them like, hey bro, I really want to spend more time with you this week. And I guarantee my friends would smile if I say that and they'd be like, oh sweet, yeah, let's do this. If you aren't at the level where you can just be honest with people, then how do you expect to meet the people who are worthy of like the level, the sort of level you want to be held to? Right, think about it. If you think that's cringe, what I'm saying, like being able to just message or speak to your friend and tell them like, oh yeah, like I want to deepen our friendship. I guarantee if you think that's cringe, you're not going to meet the kind of people that you'd actually want to do this with. Because the people who, for example, they study how important social connection is, they really want to make friends. They also are at this level of humility where they can admit this to people. So I think you need to also step up, right? It's easy for us to say like, oh yeah, I'm just not meeting any high quality people. You need to step up as well and think, okay, well, I need to become high quality. And here's the cope. A lot of us who are quite young, we would think that becoming high quality means that we need to go and make more muscle and money and clout and stuff. But that's not it, bro. That's not it. My friend Sam became my best friend when he was like still on antidepressants and he was playing video games for 16 hours a day. But he has a kind heart and he's funny as fuck. Do not believe that your sense of sort of worth, your ability to sort of unlock good people in your life comes down to these sort of vanity metrics of like money and muscle. I'm telling you it doesn't. I know that like you kind of believe you need to level up, but it's not those things that make the difference. It's like the communication. It's these softer things. Can you look a friend in the eyes and say, hey bro, like I'd like to deepen our friendship? Can you say that, or are you scared? And you'll say it's gay and stuff, fine, but you're just scared of saying it. Can you say that? I'm telling you right now, it's not about the money in your bank account. It's not about the muscle or those things that we are quite comfortable to level up. It's just the humility and the communication skills. Can you get into an argument with your friend and then resolve this conflict, or does it turn into like you guys falling out for like a fucking year or even for the rest of your lives? These are the things that, you know, if I would tell you like, okay, if you want to meet high quality people, you have to become a high quality person yourself. These are the things that make the difference. Now that I've lived enough of life, and I'm telling you, this advice is not from fucking ChatGPT, as you'll hear in the next timestamp for what the title of the next section is. This advice is genuinely coming from my heart, which I will tell you, anyone who's telling you that you need to like level up and make more money and muscle to like sort of be a higher quality person to make more friends, it's complete fucking bullshit. Again, think about it. I met my best friend when he was on antidepressants. He was basically poor, living with his mother, and he was skinny, didn't go to the gym, would play games for genuinely like 12 to 16 hours a day. It's not about how much you have achieved. It's about how good your heart is and your communication skills are. So if you want to meet more high quality people, those are the things that many men are not leveling up. Again, like, can you look at a new guy that you've met, you know, you've been hanging out for a few days in the gym, and say to him like, oh bro, I want to invite you to my place? Or do you feel uncomfortable with that? Because you could you could make that happen even if you live with your family. Could you say to this new friend like, oh, I want to become closer with you, I want to get to know you more? You know, you speak up front with someone so they know your intentions, because they probably feel the same way, but then life gets in the way, but you say this to them and they know. Or are you too afraid for that? Right, these are the things that will really help you to meet the higher quality people. This is how you kind of like create a bit more of like an attachment to them. I made this protocol, by the way, like it's like multiple hours long, like this step-by-step guide on how to become the social Chad, kind of like the guy who meets loads of people. And then also he's like charismatic enough to kind of, you know, put forward like a sort of attractive sort of, you know, personality, charisma, what to talk about, those kinds of things. And you get it as part of the program, top link in the description if you want to go have a look at that. So the second thing that I would recommend, and this is how you know that I don't use ChatGPT for my scripts, the second thing to have a life outside of gym/work is, this is how I've literally wrote it down on my little script here, keep clapping cheeks. I think so many guys are using self-improvement as a cope because they're scared of women. It's so interesting because half of my videos are about getting girls. Half of the stories that I've told in my videos is about me getting girls. I've told you that I got hard on self-improvement in like 2020, and I've also told you that I fucked the entire way through that. And yeah, I'll have guys who will say to me, yeah, Hamza, I'm following your advice. I know that girls are a distraction. I'm like, when did I say that? I've always told you that through my hardest periods of grinding, I kept on dating at the same time. I kept on doing it at the same time. And you might be thinking, oh, but I'm extra locked in, Hamza. Yeah, but I became a millionaire in 3 years, so I'm pretty sure I did pretty fucking well, right? So that goes to show you don't need to go like full fucking sexless mode. Oh yeah, I'm not focused on girls right now, bro. Yeah, sure, you don't need to focus on girls. But it doesn't take you that long to fucking have some girls in your life. It really doesn't. It really doesn't, bro. I achieved a lot in the last few years. I got jacked and rich at the same time. And I still had more than enough time to clap a lot of cheeks. And that's where a lot of like fun in your life will come from. It's like, okay, you're dating this girl and it's funny. You've got this girlfriend, or you're about to go on this you're about to go on this date with this girl, for example. That's like, bro, when I was hard on my like self-improvement journey, I would go on a date, and it was the only time I was like away from the routine. And it would feel so enjoyable that I would never doubt if it was like worth it or not. You know, sometimes you go on a date and it's just shit, whatever, you didn't vibe and you feel like, oh, that was a waste of time. But in general, I never really saw girls as like a distraction or a waste of time. I saw them as part of like the life that I want to constantly live. So many guys are doing this sort of cope of like money first, women later, only to realize that girls are fucking broke guys the entire way through. And now you're paying for the girl. It's like, are you a fucking cuck? You know you can fuck when you're broke. You know you can even fuck when you're fat as well, or skinny, by the way. So I know that you're thinking logically, like, yeah, but Hamza, I'm really locked in. You're just a coward, basically. There's no reason why you can't be dating right now. There's no reason why you can't be like having fun with girls and going on dates and you know, doing some silly adventurous shit and whatever. If you absolutely don't want to, let's say you're religious, okay, fine, fair enough, you can skip this section. But if you actually are being honest with yourself, if I said to you, listen, bro, just be honest. Just be honest. Sometimes you see like that fit girl in the gym, right? Imagine one day you walk in and she smiles at you and waves at you. And imagine you end up speaking to her and she says like, oh, what are you doing after this? Do you want to go walk in the park with me? Don't you fucking lie and say like, oh yeah, well Hamza, if that happened, I'll just tell her that I'm actually focused on my self-improvement. No, you fucking wouldn't. You go walk on the park and guess what? That's what I fucking tell you to do. Are you fucking gay? That's exactly what I'd fucking tell you to do. So that's what I've always done, by the way. And again, I became a millionaire in 3 fucking years, so don't you fucking think that like you're more locked in than I was and you're really locked in, because I still got the results at the end of the day. But I'll see loads of young guys will comment this on my videos. Like, oh, Hamza, like, oh, you know, I have the community that I just mentioned, the top link in the description. And guys will write posts like, oh, like, you know, like, oh, don't waste your time with girls. And oh, yeah, I haven't spoke to girls in like 3 years because I'm going to level up first. And I always say to them, like, when did I ever tell you to fucking do that? Why are you just randomly fucking implementing some shit advice you've heard somewhere else when every piece of advice I've given you has worked for you? So implement this piece of advice as well. Continue dating and fucking the way through. Now, again, if you don't want to because you want to like wait till marriage, then fair enough, skip this section. But if you are being honest and you'd love to clap some fucking cheeks, then fucking do it. Don't you fucking cope and say like, oh, well, no, because I'm focused. If you say no because, for example, I'm religious and I'm a virgin, I'm saving myself till marriage, okay, fine, fair enough, skip this section. But for the guy who's like, oh yeah, like I don't really give a shit about saving myself till marriage, I just kind of like, you know, girls are a distraction, bro. That's the same as the guy who goes up to the girl, speaks to her, and when she says no thanks, he says, oh, well, she was fat anyway, yeah, she was ugly. It's like, no, you would have fucking loved to fuck her. Now you're saying she's fat because she doesn't fucking want you, right? Or you see a girl and you want to speak to her, but you're like, oh yeah, but she's probably like boring anyway. Oh yeah. No, you just don't have the fucking balls to go up and speak to her. You've got to start to be honest with yourself because, bro, girls are some of the most fun in your life. Of course, bro, time with girls is so fucking fun. One thing I will say to you is follow this advice, but don't have your only time away from your usual routine only with girls. Have it with your friends as well. So for the longest time, like these last 5 years, let's say all the time that I had away from my usual routine, gym, work, self-improvement, I basically spent all that time with girls, whether I was like going on a date for the first time, or I was just having sex with a girl, or I was like actually in a relationship and we were doing more like relationship things. Only in the last few days, I've realized that that was a mistake. And a lot of that time that I put into spending with girls, I should have put into spending with guys. So I'm not saying that I should have spent that time, you know, just working more hours and fucking doing more self-improvement stuff and going to the gym again or anything, because there's only so much you can do with those habits. But rather, I should have taken a lot of that time and put it towards the social life that I just kind of slacked in. I've kind of overlooked the importance of having like, you know, like genuine male friends, not just having the male friends, but like literally hanging out with them like basically every single day. I now realize that's like a healthy amount, is like quite literally every single day hanging out with the male friends. I now realize how important just that is. Now, the final thing that I'll give you to have a life outside of gym/work is to take trips. So the first bit of advice was to basically just do basic stuff, but with funny people. If you need to go to the grocery store to buy something, ask one of your friends if he wants to come with you, and suddenly it's like you're driving over and it becomes twice as funny, and you record this silly like Snapchat with each other, and then there's a girl there and you speak to her, and you know you're in this way better mood because you've got like someone funny with you. But for this one, it's going to be take trips, like something bigger. Now look, if you could say it would be impossible for you to take like a big trip, you know, where you'd go on a plane into a different country within the next like 1 year, for example, maybe because you're young or you're poor, then I would say like don't overlook this advice, because there's trips you can take still in your own country. A train ticket these days in a lot of countries isn't so expensive, or you can just like walk somewhere or bicycle somewhere. You can literally take a train to like the city to your place nearby, go with the funny people and say to them like, oh, you know, your funny friends, and say to them like, oh, like I'm going to go to Manchester this Saturday, and I'm just going to go shopping and get some food. Come with me, bro. And you say to the friend, and he's like, okay, sweet, yeah, I'll come with you. Then you message like 2 more friends. Suddenly you've got like 5 of you all dressing up nice, going to the city nearby. You go and buy some things. You're speaking to some girls there. You get into some trouble, and you're like going to eat food and whatever. And that becomes like such a funny day. And you'll forget all about like the sort of like, oh, you know, oh, gym or whatever. Because, bro, look, the reason why we do all this self-improvement stuff is to improve our lives. Self-improvement should be to improve yourself in as many ways as possible so that your life is better. I feel like a lot of us are using it as a crutch, and we're only doing the self-improvement stuff, which, by the way, I think like spending most of your time improving, you know, goals and meditating, reading, I think that's fucking awesome. But You should have time with your friends every single day. And if you don't have friends, you need to fucking make them ASAP and start leveling that up. Don't, like, this lone ranger, lone wolf thing is gay as fuck, bro. It's so fucking shit to live like this lone wolf type of person and say, oh, well, you know, the two guys I fist bumped in the gym was like enough social life for me. You need to like make some plans with your friends, like daily, some small things, and maybe weekly or monthly, something bigger. So consider, like, you know, you take a train to the city nearby, or even you drive there if you drive or your friend drives, and that's like, bro, that's fun as fuck. And you all you need to do is just start inviting people to it consistently. You've just got to throw out the invite one person at a time, and you like try it, right? If you can drive, message like two of the guys you know who are nice guys, right? Not complete fucking losers, but for example, they're trying to make businesses as well, and they're going to the gym, and say to them, oh, it's Saturday, I'm gonna go, come with me. And if they say no, I'm just gonna work, maybe send them this video and tell them, like, bro, like, come on, self-improvement's supposed to make our life fucking better. If you're doing none of this social stuff because you're just gonna grind, you turn into like a weird fucking dork who now can't even make friends or get girls. And it's like, yeah, congratulations, you've got a six-pack and you're making some money, but now you've got no friends, no girls, and it's like your life feels fucking boring as fuck. Like, I'd rather have half the money that I do right now and like half the fitness that I do, but if I could have way more of the social life and for the girls. The good thing with me is I've leveled up the dating life tremendously. So I through this entire time, I've always had that thing of like, yeah, sure, I'm making money and I'm getting fit, but I'm also good with girls, which is a fucking beautiful like kind of skill to have. And I'm also good at social skills. I just kind of like devalued friendship. Now that I'm valuing it more, I've got it in my life and I've really like understood, yeah, it should be like something with your friends like every single day. And also, by the way, if you can take bigger trips, bro, that's where your life will really change. That's when this idea of having a life outside of gym/work will completely dissolve for you. Right now, when you live in your hometown, you really just do have gym and work, and maybe you'll hang out with your friends every now and then. When you can make money online and you can go travel over to somewhere where there's a lot of young people, and so far I live in Bali, and Bali is like a hotspot for young people like us, that's when you will literally like, it will be like a new life for you. As long as you come with a good attitude and social skills and stuff. You'll come here, you'll meet guys, you'll socialize, go up, fist bump everyone, socialize with people, invite them to do things with you, get invited to stuff, show up to the clubs and the classes and stuff. And then you will not feel like you're in this like gym grind, sort of that's the only thing I kind of do, because you'll drive your motorbike over to the gym. And you'll be there like reading in like the restaurant next to the pool, and you'll speak to the girl there, then you'll speak to the staff, then two guys will come that you know and you train with them, and then you drive over to the villa and you're staying with your friend and you're all laughing about something, you put a movie on and whatever. Being able to move out of your country, out of your hometown, to one of these hot spots where like young, ambitious people on self-improvement are moving to is it's probably, if there's one decision I've made, it's in the top three. Like, one of the decisions would be, starting YouTube. The other decision would have been like leaving the city I was living in like 2020 with the girlfriend I was living. And this is probably the top third decision of my entire life, was moving here and actually like settling down here. It's phenomenal how much more life there is to be lived when you just get away from your hometown, when you get here. It's like the culture of being in this type of place. And I know you might be pissed off hearing this because you can't come just yet, but like, it's a goal you can set for yourself for like next year. The culture is that of like, you don't really just spend all day at home. Most people spend all day outside of the home. And naturally, if you're like a happy, smiling kind of person, you'll meet so many people. If you bring your fucking depression here and your fucking bad manners and whatever, sure, you won't have a good time. But if you're like relatively a happy guy on self-improvement, living a good life, and you come here, it's fucking awesome, man. So just see what kind of trip you can take. Like, minimum once a month, maybe you go somewhere in your own country. You go to the big capital city or the city next to you, take your friends with you. Okay, sick. Then maybe once a year you go on like a bigger kind of holiday. You decide to go do a few days in like Amsterdam with your friends, and you just have like fucking fun, and you see, oh yeah, Amsterdam, like there's the red light district where you can see a bunch of like prostitutes or something. Let's just fucking walk through. I'm not saying to go fuck a prostitute, but let's walk through and just see what the fuck's happening. Bro, that's gonna be a story you and your friends are gonna laugh at for fucking years, right? It's like shit like that. When you do this often enough, you get away from this weird like gym work grind. Because then, and you know what's nice is when you do things like this, you continue doing the normal gym work grind, but it doesn't feel the same sense of like quiet desperation anymore because you have this hype trip coming up. So you're actually quite happy to, for example, just gym and work this week, for example, because you're about to leave on like Friday or something. So that's like a twofold kind of benefit. And eventually, if you can take a bigger trip and you can literally fucking move to a place, that's what will change your life completely. What I want for you is I want you to grind as hard as you possibly can, whilst at the bare minimum keeping up like the healthy level of like the social life. Not just a couple of fist bumps in the gym, but a couple of guys you really enjoy talking to, a couple of guys that you go to the gym with, maybe you go to dinners together, you do, you know, like silly shit like this, like tomorrow my two friends are here and we're just going to record videos and then take a break to kind of hang out with each other, but we're all going to record in my villa. Like how fucking like sweet is that? It's like, it's a productive thing that we're doing, but together, and it's going to be funny because we're three funny fucking guys. Yesterday it was us three guys, and we brought three girls over, like once we finished like eating and hanging out. So it was three guys, three girls, and we were just like fucking around and having fun and everything. And bro, that type of stuff's like so fucking fun. And I'm telling you, most of the reason why you feel like you're like this gym cell, work cell, is just because you don't have friends, or if you do, you're just not spending time with them. I now believe that it makes sense to spend time with your friends like basically every day. Which, you know, the final point I say is you might be thinking, like, yeah, but Hamza, you're already rich, right? So you don't really need to grind. I have a feeling, it's hard to predict this, but I have a feeling that if I lived like this when I was a little bit younger, I might have actually made more success. The time when I grew the most in business was from like 2020 December to about the end of 2022. And what's special about that specific period was that was when I hired my friend Sam, like my first ever video editor. He was like an employee first and a friend later. And when we stopped working together, and me and him actually stopped being friends for a while because we were just fucking, you know, stupid little kids. We had like an argument, so we didn't speak to each other for ages. Then, you know what's interesting? My growth in business completely plateaued, and I started to make stupid little decisions, and I started to like, basically it was just me solo and me with my ex-girlfriend. And that's when my success for the first time in like 3 years started to go down a little bit. When I think back now, I'm like, if me and him never fell out, if I had friends through that period, like good friends that, you know, I could kind of ask for advice and stuff, I don't think I would have had such a tough like 2023, 2024, where I was just making stupid decisions in business. I think I'd be more successful now. It's hard to predict that, and, you know, it's like the butterfly effect. Would I go back and change it now? Probably not, because I'm happy with where I am. But at the very least, you can take the sort of principle of this, which is like time with your friends, especially good friends. That is how you will get out of this gym/work life. I think going to the gym, working hard is so amazing. I think you should absolutely do that. But if you can make time for some like social life with some friends, bro, I think life becomes so much more enjoyable, especially if you can meet the kind of guys who are actually serious about life, which once again, by the way, I am so like honored to invite you to the Library of Adonis, which is at the top link in the description. It's kind of like my social media for guys who are on self-improvement, because if you've wanted to make friends with guys who are serious on this path and you want to, you know, spend time with friends, but you don't want to spend time with like Jeffries or Krabs, this is where we are. Like, this is where like the guys who watch my videos, who go to the gym, who work, who are making money online, who are getting away from all these bad habits, who share very similar values to you, this is where I'm bringing them all. And it becomes very easy to like make friends in there. So that's the top link in the description if you want to come and join. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.